G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. Thought we'd start off with Blake. I was thinking about doing a bit of a wind up, but you guys all know who he is, so he's just jumping on from the start. How you going, mate?
G'day, how's it going? Yeah, I'm not sure how special of a guest I am, but yeah, I appreciate it anyway, I guess. Should be fun hanging out.
It's been a while since you've been on the channel.
Yeah, I know. And it was even crazier that you asked me 2 days before. Usually it's 10:55. Here's the link.
Literally, anybody who thinks he's actually exaggerating that, I've definitely sent Blake a link at 10:55 and asked him to jump up.
Yeah, sometimes I can, but other times, there's that much going on. I don't know what's left from right.
Anyway, g'day Pete, g'day Matty D, g'day William. So I'll just let you know, I'm on my new camera, which yes, it does look great, but I've since learnt that it actually drains the battery quicker than the USB charges it, so we might have to swap to the webcam at some stage because the camera probably will go flat. But we'll try combat it. Blake showed me a little toy that I need to buy to keep the battery going.
Yep, the old dummy battery. It's also good because it just doesn't murder your battery as well. I'll show everyone else, I guess. But what you can just buy is like, let me messing up my focus here. Is that focused? Yeah. So it's just like a little dummy camera battery. You can get them for every camera pretty much. And you just have them plugged into AC power the whole time, and that way you don't destroy your main battery.
Yeah, that's cool. I've actually ordered 2 spare batteries as well, but obviously with the shipping at the moment, God knows when they'll arrive.
Oh yeah, did you go with the wasabi ones?
I don't know. I can have a look.
Yeah, doesn't really matter. They're all pretty much the same. But yeah. G'day, Fish Room Fever as well. Pete,
It doesn't.
Thanks for reminding me that I was on this stream this morning. Matty D, how you going?
Oh, I saw that on Discord.
Yeah, I'm loving Discord at the moment. Like before, You're right.
I noticed that it's pretty active.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Before, when I was part of some other Discords, I didn't really get it, but it seems to be really going off in mine, and there's notifications all the time, but it's good to see. We've been playing a few games. You've jumped in a few times. We've been playing Among Us and stuff like that. So
I still don't really understand the game fully, but I'm slowly learning.
I can tell because usually you're very outgoing and loud, but then when it comes to that game, it's like, are you there? Hello?
I also, when we were playing on Saturday night, I was also trying to fix this laptop, which I'm sitting on right now. So for everyone that's watching, I'm at a remote location being one of my friend's house, because last night was actually my fiance's hen's party. So she took over my house, it being at my house. So I stayed here and I was like, man, I've got to go live. I really don't want to miss this one. I've got a new camera, all that jazz. And I was like, I'll get the old laptop out and plug it in. And I plugged the camera into my computer. It took me like 35 seconds to set it up. I plugged the camera into the laptop. It ended up taking me 5 hours to get it running.
Well, it's good for a bit of change of scenery anyway.
Yeah, how's this plant? I'm digging it.
Pretty good. The golden pothos.
Yeah. Like in my house, we really struggled to grow any plants because the house is actually pretty dark.
Yeah, we have a similar problem. It really annoys me because there's like balconies or verandas all the way around, so we get next to no natural light. Like there's no window sills we can sit plants on and grow them.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about, like, in my kitchen, there's a nice wall that doesn't even have an eave. Like the wall goes out to the edge of the gutter.
Yeah.
I was like, if I cut a window in there, that would bring in more light than any other window in the house. It'd be such a massive job to cut a window in.
G'day, John from Alice Springs. You're about in between both of us, so well done. I don't think you could get much further away from either of us.
I think is Alice Springs pretty hard to get fish. Hey, you have to have licenses to keep them and stuff.
I wouldn't be game enough to go wading with a net up there anyway. I think you'd only do that once or twice. What else have we got happening here? Thanks, Donald. The Angelfish are probably just trying to show the rainbows who's boss.
So is that a recorded video, Blake?
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes long, something. But it is actually my tank, in case anyone is wondering. But I used to have a second webcam set up on it for live, but it just chewed my computer out, and I just it wasn't a good time.
Oh, John's got no Crocs. Are you telling me you're not living up to the stereotype?
I don't know about that, John. I'd be taking a second look at every log I see in the water. That's for sure.
So I've ordered a green screen as well, guys, but we'll see when it arrives. I don't know what to put in my background, but like,
yeah, I don't know.
Tough one.
You could do the Sopranolot and just have it like a bunch of different tanks, 15, 20 seconds on each, and he rotates it through. Pretty good. It keeps everyone interested. Yeah, don't have any water holes. Oh, okay. Well, that'd probably help. Anonymous Aquarium Lover, yes. One of my favorite shirts. We got the Tiger King, the Tiger Barb. But I think the hype on Tiger King is pretty much dead now, isn't it? So
that went down real quick. Matty D wants to see some flower horns in my background. That can be arranged.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few to choose from there. It's fun though. You can really get creative with the green screen.
Yeah, I think if I got like a really good 5-minute video of a pair of flower horns spawning, but I would probably have to put the plate like to the side or something, so you could kind of see it a bit better. Or I could even like just have it up higher, like up here. I don't know.
The school of thought with the green screen, because I see a few people that is just like, oh, I'm live streaming. I have to have a green screen. I think that only get a green screen if you don't have enough room to do something good in the background. Like if you can put depth into the shot or the frame, then it looks way better. But for me, I stream out of like a 2 meter by 2 meter. Is that big? Actually, it might be less than that. Like I can't even.
The green screen's 2 meters wide.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't even have the full green screen width here. So I'm so confined. I can't roll my chair all the way out and step out. I have to like roll it somewhat and turn to the side and then get out of the chair that way. So that's why I have a green screen, because nobody wants to see like a pile of storage Christmas decorations and stuff that is actually behind me.
Oh, Matty D telling me I would have to clean the glass. That is true. I've got my colony of bristlenose growing out. The glass will be clean soon enough.
You have to get the old barkeeper's helper. That's the downside of having so much limestone in the fish room.
Yeah, like you can definitely tell that there's limestone just by the splashing on the side of the tanks. So the main reason I got the green screen is because if you've seen where I stream at my house, just in like my lounge room, I just want to be able to block that off. Yeah.
Part of me actually, we have kind of a spare room, but it's kind of the kids' playroom. But I'd like to set it up as a bit of a studio, like for unboxings or occasional streams or something. I'd like to just take over another room and sneak a fish tank in there, but also I'll probably move house before I ever end up doing that. So
yeah, fair enough. I don't mind like this house, like just a little bit of a wall with a plant and stuff, even though it's not fish related. I think it's quite a nice backdrop. It's got like the ocean. Oh, there's like the ocean in the photo. Man, I didn't even set that up. That's just what he had sitting there. It's quite good.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfectly fine for a live stream. Got enough stuff in the background there for people to look at while we're blabbering on about nothing.
Blabbering on about the background.
What's happening? I didn't realize rainbows could live with discus. Yeah, no problems at all. The main thing you'd have to be worried about is if the discus are too shy on the food, but I had the discus first, so there was no concerns about that.
You are running CO2 on that tank, aren't you?
Yeah, not a heap. Maybe like 1 bubble per second, something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. I just turned the CO2 up on my planted tank to try and get rid of the hair algae.
Yep. And then I just do... I'm very infrequent with my liquid fertilizers. That's probably a real downside as well. They could probably look a lot better, but I always forget. And then I just do a weekly water change, and that's when I put it in. So I should really do it in between as well.
I actually haven't done any ferts in months, that could probably be why.
Yeah, it's just always a balancing act, CO2, fertilizer and lighting. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, it's just weird. It ran well for so long with no hair algae, and then all of a sudden it appeared. Something changed.
Oh, it's a pain sometimes. Like I had on this side here, I don't know if people are familiar, but on this side here I have like my aquascaped tanks. I wouldn't say this one behind me is one of those, but some of them look so good, and then just one day algae will just take over and it's just a battle.
Yeah,
it's such a shame. I used to have one that was perfectly balanced, not a speck of algae. Now looks like I've sat it outside for 3 months.
Oh, Jono reckons the Oscar tank needs a clean. You can come clean it every day if you want. I don't know have you ever sat a fry basket in a tank near a power head and it fills up with dirt?
Oh yeah.
If you've got babies in it, the Oscar tank is a giant version of that. You vac it and literally the next day it's just all dirty.
And also they're Oscars, so they have those grinding plates right near their gills, so pretty much 80% of their food comes straight out.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm no good with planter tanks. I think you just have to kill a bunch of plants, and eventually you find the ones that survive in your water.
That's what I've been doing. Donald, so the light on the pond is ridiculous. My partner calls it the daytime light. It's so bright. It's good, because it penetrates the water really well. I need to make a shroud for it so it's penciled into the water and not hitting all the walls and everything, because it lights up the whole back corner instead of just lighting up the water. Yeah. So it's going to be mint once it's finished.
Sweet. So what's been going on through the week? Obviously, did you do if I could speak English, did you pre-film a video I guess we got the stream, so you don't need a video today. Just thinking logistically about getting kicked out of the house for a day.
Oh yeah. Even yesterday's video, I was actually recording that as I was getting kicked out. It's been a hectic week because I've been trying to prep the backyard and stuff. So it's been a hard week to do content, but also I got the new camera, so it was an exciting week to do content as well.
Yeah, nice. It certainly looked better once you played around with the settings a bit.
Yeah. I can't get down. My dog's been a pain. Even the dog got kicked out.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on.
What was I saying? The dog's interrupted
with
me.
The settings on the camera.
Oh yeah, so after I filmed that first video and I was like, oh no, this is disappointing. And then I ended up just YouTubing it, somebody doing a tutorial on setting the camera up.
Yeah, I think I've seen the same one. Potato Jet, was it? I think maybe. Yeah, it's a real popular one.
I'm pretty sure it's just the first one that came up.
It's weird about more advanced cameras, I guess, out of the box, they don't really come set up that well, which I found interesting. They sort of expect you to know a bit more about it and set it up yourself however you like.
Yeah, definitely. The Osmo action, when I got that from memory, I don't even think I like changed the frame rate or anything. I just pressed film.
Yeah, and even just the other day, like I pre-ordered mine, so I've had it however since however long they came out, which maybe a few months, maybe 3 months or 4 months, and even just the other day I found a new setting that I like and all that. So yeah, it's the big maze you got to navigate your way through, but it's good.
Fun times.
I do think that the ZV-1 is a great camera for like an intermediate. You know, like if you've been on your phone the whole time or whatever, it's one that's got room to grow without being too intimidating out of the box. Like a lot of the settings on auto look perfectly fine.
Yeah, definitely.
G'day, Blackie.
I think I still use the Osmo a bit. I'm going to be hesitant to use this camera. Things like stripping the Africans and stuff like that. The fact that it's not waterproof, like it still makes me nervous. So I'll probably still use both for now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was watching you feed all your fish yesterday, and you were making me nervous doing the odd one-handed holding over the pond and stuff. I was like, oh gosh, this is going to end badly.
I was holding on to it real tight. I got a wrist strap as well, so I've got a wrist strap on.
Yeah, well, I might have recommended that to you, but I have no liability for when you drop it in water or something. I'll just let you know now.
I'll be heartbroken. So speaking of cameras, I actually want to get you can get like a hot shoe adapter for it, so you can run a flash on top. I really want to get the hot shoe adapter and run my remote flashes on it and do like a mirrorless photo compared to my mirrored camera. I honestly think the Sony would probably take a better photo, but I want to hold on to the Canon and say it would take a better photo just because of how expensive it was back in the day.
Well, it's a 60D, isn't it? Canon 60D that you have?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still a really good camera. So, like, I think Eurus, if you've ever, I don't know if you watch much aquascaping YouTube channels, but there's a German fella called Eurus, and he uses a 70D and two 60Ds when he does videos, and they look really good. So,
Yeah, right.
Plenty of people use them.
I think maybe in macro the 60D would beat it because I've got a good 100mm macro lens on the camera.
Yeah, nice. That's what I found to be the downfall, and why I eventually got the A6100 like to add to it is because, yeah, close up on some nanofish, I just found it struggled a little bit, but you won't have that problem.
Yeah.
Maybe on fry and stuff, but it picked up the baby peacocks and stuff easy enough.
Yeah, it seems to be doing well as far as I think. But obviously, I've only tried it a couple of times on little fish.
Yeah.
Aquaman, have a thought about breeding super red Texas. The problem is we don't have our red parrot cichlid in Australia isn't a strong enough red to create a good red Texas. So it's just a lost cause. Like, I'd be breeding with poor stock before I even started chasing the red Texas. The joys of being in Australia and having limited fish to choose from.
Have you ever heard of Gunther Schmieder?
No.
He's like really good fish photographer. He takes a lot of the photos for Angler and stuff, and I was talking to him the other day about macro lenses and things, and he's got a book all about how to do it, so you can get it really cheap and as a PDF. And
Really?
I'm excited to sit down and have a flick through that. So yeah, it should be interesting. Hopefully, I can up my game on that side of things, because I just find that a lot of times I'm too focused on churning it out, so I don't bother with getting those detailed things and good transitions and things.
Yeah, fair enough. Guess it just depends how far you want to take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of whether you want to get like 5 videos out a week or 2 or 1. That's kind of the difference, I suppose. But at a certain point,
Yeah.
I'd like to put out stuff that people are like intrigued by or think is impressive.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Maybe if you like tried to push one video a week that you sat down a bit more with.
Yeah, I think that's probably the end goal after after I sort of have a decent enough base there. Donald, yeah, I'm in the Geelong area, Victoria.
Yeah, he's real close to me, not far at all.
But I actually only made videos because I was a big fangirl of Rumble, actually. So you all have me to blame for all the spam. Wait, you all have him to blame for all the spam.
How have you been going with the lockdown?
So I'm in regional area, so we don't really have lockdown. Like, main pain that we have to deal with is wearing the masks, but I mean,
Okay.
it's not a big deal. Do you have to wear masks out in public and stuff?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but
It's
yeah,
pretty
so
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go.
I was just gonna say, yeah, so that's our main difference, I guess, is you just have to wear a mask whenever you go anywhere, supermarket or whatever, and I work in a office at the moment, so yeah, we have to wear masks every time there's more than one person in there. But yeah, in terms of this week, we had like things like playgrounds and all that open up again, and al fresco dining has started again in restaurants. So yeah, not too bad.
Enough.
But we only had 14 cases today or something, so touch wood, things are trending in the right direction.
Yeah, when it first was flaring up, and it was sort of dying over here, and then you'd see on the news that over there it was flaring up. I was like, "You sure? I thought it's over." and then so now I'm waiting, kind of like for WA to have a second wave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what happens. People get complacent and then start having big parties and all that, and then starts again.
So here, the last like month, you wouldn't even notice that there's been a pandemic. Like there's no sign of it here at all. Like as far as people keeping their distance and stuff.
Yeah. Well, even we were driving. I went to pick up dinner last night, and there was people sitting out like 3 tables al fresco, and they were sitting shoulder to shoulder, no masks. I was like, come on, people, it's been lifted for like 3 days, and you already got like 20 people sitting shoulder to shoulder with no masks. So settle down. But yeah, so in Geelong where I am, we haven't had a case in 3 or 4 days or something. So
That's good.
Yeah. Are you a cricket fan? I don't think you like much sport, do you? Yeah, I'm not that big into cricket. I'm into AFL and NFL in the off season.
I like going to the 2020 matches with my friends, but it's more just an excuse to catch up with mates.
Yeah.
And the 2020 is short enough that like I can keep up my attention span.
Yeah, I don't know if I could even name like 3 cricketers these days. I used to enjoy Adam Gilchrist, but that's about it. That's a long time ago.
Car's in the way.
Hey Lefty, how you going? Fancy new logo you got there?
Sorry, I missed that one, Blake. I was handing keys.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll just take the reins. I've been waiting for click and collect from Bunnings for 3 days. Sucks. I can't just go there and pick it up. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, I guess. I don't honestly. I'm a bit of a homebody, so it hasn't really bothered me too much because it's a good excuse to stay at home as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so when it comes to sport, if it's got a motor, then I'm definitely interested. I don't know why I never got into sport. Sometimes I think to myself, am I not Australian?
Yeah.
I don't even watch football. I know a lot of people hate on me for that.
All right. Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah. You're just frozen. Lucky it
My
wasn't
camera.
a strange face. I'm assuming your camera's out of battery.
I feel so sad that I didn't know this prior to live streaming.
You
The
were so
funny thing is,
excited too, I could tell.
I didn't even charge my camera last night or anything. I was like, when I stream, it'll be plugged into the laptop. She'll be right. So it was actually only on a 1/4 battery this morning when I got up. Oh well. These things
Well, that's
happen.
not too bad then for 1/4 battery. Maybe it does sort of slowly trickle out. You could probably get a good hour out of it.
I think I could because I only charged that for 15 minutes. I put that on charge at my time's wrong on here, but I put that on charge at 8:45.
Yeah.
Because I was setting up the stream and just checking it, and it went flat before at 8:45. So I only plugged it in for 15 minutes, and that's how long it lasted.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Oh, look at this grainy picture. It's actually not that bad considering how old it is.
Yeah, I mean, by the time it comes out through the internet into people's screens anyway, it's usually compressed a couple times.
Yeah.
So I've had a pretty decent week. I had a subscriber come over yesterday and the day before and drop off some fish and pick up some fish. So that was pretty cool. Just out of the blue, was like, "Oh, I got some fry. Do you want some?" Sure, I'll take it.
That's cool.
And then yeah, I was like, "Oh, well, have a look around, see if you want anything, and if so, I'll return the favor." So seems good.
I think that's the most humbling thing about being a YouTuber is when a subscriber is like, "Hey, do you want this for free?" And I'm like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
And then I had one guy come around and gave me a bunch of plants, and I was like, "Do you want? You can have a couple of fish for free." And he's like, "Oh no, I can't take them for free. I have to pay for them."
G'day, Candy. How you going?
One thing. Hey, Candy. One thing YouTube has done is it's brought back my what do you call it? My thought of the general public has improved.
Oh, right, yeah.
Just with some of the negativity on Facebook and there's that many trolls, you start to just think that everyone out there is out to get you. But the YouTube community is just so much different, I find.
And for me, it's so good just to be able to talk about fish things with people because, I was so excited about everything. I was so excited every time I have fry and all that. And then it just kind of took the wind out of my sails that there was nobody that I could sort of talk to and that would get similarly hyped because, I mean, you've got PCS, I guess, and there's other clubs and things, but I don't really have any nearby to me. So, yeah, it's been a huge thing to spur me along is having someone to share in the successes and failures and stuff like that. So, that's the big winner for YouTube for me.
Yeah.
Aquaman, on this tank, I just have one canister filter. So, yeah,
G'day,
the
Mr.
plants
Fish.
do a grunt of the work. G'day, Mr. Fish, sir. Daryl Deemer. Never know how to pronounce your last name.
That would be
Double D.
Dima, wouldn't it?
Would be, but I think Corey says it Daryl Dimer when I listen to the podcasts.
I'm sure it'll be confirmed in the comments.
Wish we had a club in Perth other than the Cichlids. Yeah, that's another fair call, I guess. The one that we do have, well, the two that we do have, they're sort of connected. We have EDAS, Eastern District Aquarium Society, and what's the other one? Anyway, they're good clubs, and I should join them, but they're just so far away. It's hard to say to the wife, like, oh, yeah, Friday night, I just got to go drive 4 hours to talk with some fish nerds and maybe buy some fish. How's that going to go? You have the kids, and I'll just go do whatever I want.
I just need $200 in petrol.
Yeah, she'd probably let me, but I just feel bad asking.
So as far as even though it's called Perth Cichlid Society, a lot of the group is actually tries to persuade itself as a fish group. It's not just cichlids, but it definitely is cichlid dominated.
Yeah,
but
okay.
like at the auctions and that, there's definitely a lot of like guppies and whiptails and all sorts of things.
Yeah, it was good. It was good at a previous meeting when Josh and Sai both did a video there. I think you might have as well. There was one meeting that all three of you did a video, so it was really good to see different perspectives and stuff, and a bit of an insight as to how that one works. And I've been told it's Demon, apparently, so apologies for that, Daryl. Either way, it's fine. All right, there you go. Take the kids. Take the kids might work, but I think the trouble would be that it's on fairly late, so they'd probably fall asleep on the way there, and then be all groggy throughout, and then fall asleep on the way home as well, and then be awake the whole night. So, yeah, I don't know. In case you're not aware, my kids are 2 and 3, so they're not exactly taking to club meeting age yet.
Yeah, Matty D, that was the swap meet. I kind of want to push for more swap meets over the auctions. They're quicker and better, in my opinion.
After the lockdown, I was going to try talking to some Melburnians and get some fish swap meet happening. If you want to be on that, hell yeah, for sure. I mean, sorry for the language, I guess, but yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd be in.
Swap meets are definitely better than auctions. Like, people can just walk in and buy fish and then leave, I think. And there seems to be, we got a way bigger turnout. So I kind of think it's because people are like kind of put off going to auctions because of how late they run.
Yeah. I've only ever been to one sort of club thing. It was the annual convention for ANGFA. And the reason I was pushed to go is because it rotates capital cities every few years. So it was in Melbourne. I was like, well, if I don't go this year, I'll have to wait another 4 or 5 years or whatever to go to the next one. So it was kind of good that I was like, well, you have to go to this one. So it was good fun. I picked up some stuff in the auction and stuff, but yeah, it's just one of those things where I was too motivated not to come up with excuses not to go.
Yeah.
Kids are never too young to start learning. Oh yeah, no doubt about that. They love being around here, but the amount of have to kind of watch them like a hawk. You know, stop touching that. Don't lean on the glass. Don't climb on top of that fish tank. So I don't know if they'd be that good at sitting there quietly during an auction or whatever.
So do you ever get this, Blake, like use Facebook on your phone all the time, and then when you actually open it in an Explorer, you like don't even understand how it works anymore because it's changed so much?
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of feel like the Explorer version, it's really made for a mobile app now, and like it's kind of awkward to navigate on the computer.
Yep, 100%. Anonymous aquarium lover, yeah, and if you do get around to sorting it out, I'll do what I can to sort of advertise it and stuff, and I think that would be good for people to hear about. EDAS does a good option, plenty of variety, but a fair drive from Nana to me, yeah, 100%. I'll do it one day, but obviously not at the moment. Yeah.
I've actually thought about moving back to Dunsborough, where I'm from, and it's pretty much just the fact that there's no fish scene there is the only reason. Like, there's all these pros, and then the only con is fish.
Aquaman, do I prefer canisters? Yeah, kinda. I'll tell you why, but there's pros and cons to anything. Majority of the tanks are sponge filters, but if I put CO2, then I use a canister. And the reason I like canisters are, I guess they're a bit less obvious. Like, you wouldn't know what filter was on this tank unless I pointed out where the inlet and outlets are. I only maintain them once a year, so they're pretty effortless. But a hang-on back is far easier to keep properly maintained than a canister. So I think it's really personal preference. You can't really go wrong with either. But I also had a lot of hang-on backs burn out with the motor, and I've never had that much bad luck with the canisters. So yeah, try and have the minimal things plugged in as possible. But if I have to plug in a filter, I just make it a canister.
I think, like, my perspective on that is the hang on the back filters just don't hold enough media.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you've got like a 30-litre tank, it might be acceptable, but anything over like 50 litres, I just don't. I've even run like 2 hang-on backs on like a 60-litre tank, and it didn't keep up.
The other side of it as well is the constant argument about self-priming hang-on backs and if they actually do self-prime. So, like, for most of the time when I do these water changes, I just leave the canisters on because the intake is below the water level, so it still works fine. But I just couldn't be bothered unplugging things to do water changes. So, yeah, that's another factor as well. Like, you might notice with all of my fish tanks, I keep the heaters below 50% of the water line so that when I do water changes, I don't unplug anything. I just drain it, fill it, drain it, fill it. Makes life a lot easier.
I've actually broken a few heaters in my time doing water changes, and they shatter.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've done it, Blake.
Once or twice, yeah. It's only if, like, you don't realize you've accidentally pulled a cord or something along the way, and then a particular heater has actually gone vertical instead of horizontal, and then you realize once you do your water changes that, okay, maybe I should have paid a bit more attention to that one. I should probably put some sort of proviso that, don't do as I say, or something like Flex Aquatics does not recommend not unplugging heaters when doing water changes. Authorised by the Australian Government, Victoria.
Oh, you could get in trouble for saying that. They did not authorise this message.
I only ever unplug the heater and water changes, leave the canisters on. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a safer bet. You don't really want to swing the temperature of the glass on a heater too much, but yeah.
I must admit, running the AC instead of having in-tank heaters is actually one of the best things in the world.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about it though. I'm pretty excited for whenever I set up my next fish room. I'll definitely be doing that. But also, walking into a fish room every time and getting all humid and, like, I'm not a big person for the heat, so we'll see how enjoyable that is.
It is a bit of a... So, like, in the middle of winter when you walk through the door, it's like a blanket like rushes over your face. It's pretty. It is a bit to get used to, and like if you notice in my videos where I'm actually doing like maintenance stuff, like you can see how much I'm sweating in the videos.
Yeah.
It's just what?
With all your flower ones, you keep it pretty warm as well, don't you? Set it on like 26 or something.
They range. So when I breed them, I actually use a heater and I bump it up to 30. So I've just got one heater and I'll like swap it between the pairs.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the younger ones in the tank in the middle, that tank's like 29. The one on the side's probably like 27.
But what's the actual split system set on? So like, what temperature are you walking into?
29.
29. Geez, that's hot. Conversion wise, that's 84. So yeah, nah, I would, even if I did heat a whole room, I don't think I would heat it that hot. I'd put it on like 24 probably.
But the problem is if you set it to 24, the tanks will actually only be like 22 because you get like a bit of heat loss in the exchange.
Yeah, this is the only tank that I would keep hotter than that anyway.
Yeah,
like
so
rest of them 20 is fine.
The bottom tanks, which have like my cobalt blue and my Nikali, they're the coldest tanks in the room, and even with the heaters on 29, they only sit on like 22 degrees.
Yeah, okay.
That's the only thing, like you don't get a constant temperature around the whole room. But I've never had an issue with the fish not breeding. It just seems to be the fact that it's stable. They're all within like 4 degrees, 5 degrees, but
yeah, it's interesting anyway. Like one of our local fish stores here does a hobbyist style heated room, and you go through a glass sliding door and it's all humid and smelly and all that. Like families don't really enjoy going in there, but I do. Like it doesn't really bother me. The only thing is in winter, you know, when you've got long pants and a jumper and stuff and you walk in there, it's like, geez, it's pretty hot.
So here's a bit of a story about that. In the middle of winter, I get up in the morning at like 5:30. I get dressed. I don't put my jumper on, and I run from the house to the fish room, like freezing. I get in the fish room and I like feed the fish, and I'm like nice and toasty. And then I like run back to the house and like put my jumper on after I've fed the fish.
It'd warm you up anyway.
Anonymous, how is my fish room insulated? It's got insulation. No, so it's just like dry stud walls, and I just it's got 3 layers of R 1.5 insulation. So it's like the pink stuff, which is like 1 inch thick, and it's got the silver backing on it. There's 3 layers of that. The thing you got to be careful of is you can't scrunch it up. So 3 layers is loose in there. If I had gone 4 layers and it starts scrunching, it actually doesn't insulate as well.
Yeah, because don't you need an air gap or something between insulation and the sides?
I don't think you need an air gap. It needs its sufficient space. And then in the actual ceiling is like the 100mm pink bats, you know, like Pink Panther on the TV when you were a kid. I don't know if anybody else had that or whether it was a West Australian thing. But yeah, they're really big. They're like 100mm. I actually got them from a damaged house. So like the ceiling had collapsed and they put new insulation in. So I got like a whole house worth of insulation for a carton of beer. So there's literally like 3 layers. The insulation's stacked up like 300mm, which is what's 300mm? 12 foot? 12
the simple
inches.
answer is that it's insulated well enough to not get really good Wi-Fi and 4G out there.
Yeah. I've got Feste cichlids growing out. My experience so far is they grow at a really different rate. Like I've got one that's like 5 inches and 2 which is still 2 inches, and they were the same size when I got them. Super aggressive fish, but mine haven't got aggressive yet, just what I've been told by other people.
G'day, Big J as well. How you going, mate?
Oh, g'day, Big J.
Very good. Yeah, and I got some interesting new fish as well. I got some purple spotted gudgeons. Pretty hyped about them.
Oh, they're really nice fish.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big they were. I thought they were like empire gudgeon size, and then I saw them in the shop. I was like, oh, these look so cool. They're like mini snakeheads
Yeah.
without the whole invasion and highly illegal status that snakeheads have. So, like, yeah, I'm gonna take these for sure.
I had a massive, I think a snakehead gudgeon. Is that the big ones?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. I think it was snakehead gudgeon.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or is it rainbow gudgeon?
I don't know if they have the same name, but yeah, you are allowed to have snakehead gudgeons, just not snakeheads, like not chatters. Yeah.
And that when I got that was the same thing. It was like, oh wow, I didn't know these were this big.
Yeah.
And I like saw it and bought it purely because it was like 5 inches long, and I was like, I want that fish.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough. I went in at the day that their wholesale order was coming in, so I noticed all the cool stuff that usually gets picked up straight away. And I was like, oh, I don't know, we'll keep an eye on them. And then I went in a few days later, and they were doing fine. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll grab those. Anonymous, yeah, I've set up all the ponds. I think 8 or 10 of them, but I haven't put fish out there yet, which I need to because I noticed last night there was a bunch of mosquitoes everywhere. But that's good. That's free food, so that's by design.
We've actually got a special guest in the background there.
Oh no, what have we got
Another
here?
special guest. I don't think this guy's ever got up on a Sunday morning with me. I didn't think he got out of bed till after lunch.
Oh no, I'm nervous.
Oh, there's no mouse on the laptop.
The suspense is killing me. Oh no.
Hey,
Hey,
G'day,
buddy,
mate.
good Rumble. I'm not sleeping in, okay? I have school.
not on a Sunday.
No, homework.
You're the only kid I know who does homework on a Sunday.
Yeah, but responsibilities. Yeah.
How you going, mate?
Oh, he cut out.
He's just switching over to his new high-tech setup. Oh, look at him. Look at how sharp and handsome he looks now.
Oh, look at that. 4K.
You've even added
Okay,
the skin smoothing feature, no doubt.
no.
The face filter.
I think I've got it on the middle one, not the top one. The top one makes
You
it
do?
look like.
Oh no, oh, that was a
Why
guess.
not? Why not?
Oh jeez, I turned mine off.
Oh, Jesse's here. G'day,
G'day.
hooked on fish.
We've been playing a few games as well, haven't we, Bodgy? Been
Huh?
playing a bit of Among Us.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
It's good fun as. It's been real good, yeah. So, ta-da!
Oh, it looks good.
New tank.
Yes, it's 5x2x2, but yeah, I've just finished the hardscape for it. Finished filming and what. So yesterday, what happened was I filmed 2 videos, but it turned out that my microphone was unplugged.
Oh,
I hate that. I hate that so much.
So it was just me talking, but no audio. Yay!
Good stuff.
We've all
Yeah,
been there.
so I
Voiceover inbound.
salvaged what I could and re-recorded to this morning. So yeah, it should be good.
Let's have a look. So what have you got? Like serious tones and stuff?
So it's a bit. Oh, okay, that's better. So I've got the Siriu. What I did was give it a vinegar bath yesterday, so it took all the calcium off. So once the water goes in, it'll be like nice and dark. But yeah, we've got the Malaysian bogwood, another Malaysian bogwood, and then a whole bunch of Siriu. So it's like a mini valley kind of.
Yep.
And there's a pathway going down the middle, and that side will be full of plants. This side will be full of plants. And yeah, the plants arrive this Friday, and there's
Nice.
like a good 300 portions of plants coming. So yay.
That'll
That
be
should
awesome.
be fun.
I thought it was like 150, but then I actually tallied up all the plants that I ordered, and yeah, it was more than 300. So
Can't wait to see it all come together.
thank you.
Ryan wants to know why you decided on an inbuilt sump and not a proper sump.
Well, I don't know, like 10 years of keeping aquariums, and the inbuilt sump was something that I hadn't kept before. So, one, I wanted to kind of like experience it. The other one was I just thought I could hide everything in there. Plus, there's a lot of like the big complaint with inbuilt sumps is that you don't have enough space to put your hand into and like take stuff out and whatnot. But that one actually has a fairly deep, there's like a foot width, like I can put my hand in and whatnot. And so I thought if I do get like heaters and CO2 and whatnot, I can just hide everything in there. And yeah, just thought it'd be more efficient than having canister filter and a whole bunch of wires and stuff.
Yeah. And you're going to get some black contact and cover it.
Oh,
side
yeah.
panel.
I'll cover this side up. I've already got some. I just haven't gotten to doing it yet. And I thought I'd probably get everything in there first. That way I can kind of see what I'm doing, and then I'll cover it up on the front there.
Cool. Ah, looks good.
Thank you.
I think it would be good as far as like if you put CO2 on it, it'll be better than an under sump because you won't get that agitation and lose your CO2.
And my plan with this is that with the return pump that takes the water back into the tank, I want to have the diffuser right next to the return pump. So that way, when the bubbles come out, the return pump is drawing the water in and then dispersing it through the tank.
Or what I was thinking is have the diffuser like right at the bottom of all the sponge and stuff in the first or second area, and then the bubbles won't be able to pop at the surface because they'll have to be stuck all the way through the sponge going up.
Right, and
Yeah,
so that way when
that's
the
a good
water is
idea.
actually running into it, it's going to break up those bubbles and then diffuse the CO2. Oh, that's actually a good idea as well. Thank you.
I do
So
have
there's-
them occasionally.
There's a bit of a pressing question in the comments. What am I doing for my bachelor party? I don't know. I've got
The
no
stag
idea.
do.
I've chosen not to be involved. So
No, you should take this up as an excuse to set up a new shed fish room.
somehow I don't think all my mates want to hang out in a fish room for my bucks party.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
sure there'll be some sort of paintball involved, maybe.
yeah, you just say to your fiance, well, the expense that would be going towards the bachelor party is now going towards a new fish
Oh, I
room.
see.
It's highly publicized that you're no longer a drinker. So are you going to be breaking your newfound sobriety?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be drinking. I'm actually probably going to be drinking like the week before just to like train myself. Like,
Smart.
remember, buddy, this is what alcohol is.
Seems foolproof to me.
Yeah. I messaged my fiance this morning and she said that she didn't actually get that drunk, which doesn't surprise me, but I thought she would get plastered.
Fun.
I don't remember. My Bucks party was so long ago.
I haven't had one yet, so I can't remember.
I thought you'd have a couple bodgy by now.
No,
Oh. G'day, Alien World.
you know, I got
yeah,
my. Oh yeah, bro.
6 years ago, my Bucks party was.
Oh. How
Yep.
old was I? Oh, yeah, can't remember, but
You were about 11, I reckon.
yeah, probably. Yeah, 9 or 11. But it's like I did something really stupid. So I got the whole CO2 kit, right? So I've got the Keg King bottle, the CO2 art regulator, all the other supplies, but I forgot the diffuser.
Yeah.
Like the thing that's actually meant to put the CO2 into the water, I forgot.
Luckily, that's about the cheapest part of it.
Yeah.
I've actually, Anonymous, we've actually got a stripper's pole. It's in our spare room. could pull it out and put it in the shed.
This is my time to leave, and
Oh, it's located right next door to the rumble-sized stilettos and fishnets.
It's called a fitness pole, not a stripper's pole. Jeez.
yeah, man, under
Did you
18.
just assume his occupation?
Nice.
Oil some PVC up.
So this is what you get up to on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, welcome, Bodgy.
Nice. So yeah, any new fish people are getting?
No, but you know me. I just buy fish on the day. If I feel
You're like,
it.
no, I'm not going to get any fish, and then you message us on the fish tuber chat. Hey, I got like $500 worth of fish.
Yeah, I've actually got to stop spending money on fish. I got to pay for my wedding.
Yeah, well, this past like week and a half for me has been really crazy. I'm just like slowly carving pieces of my kidney off and selling them bit by bit.
Your liver works better for that, actually.
Oh yeah, because it can regenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got some gold, like the gold laser corridors are like probably the biggest expense that I've spent on fish so far. So that's like something I'm looking forward to.
Well, they should be fairly easy to breed, so make that back in time.
Yay!
So long as you don't get Jill to just eat them all first up.
Still, I'm like, mate, Jill's fine. Okay. But yeah, Hey Rumble, have you seen where my fish are at the moment?
No, I haven't.
Let me show you.
I mean, yeah, I've watched every video you've uploaded.
Wait, hold up.
What do the parents think of that?
I didn't tell them, and then they found it, and then there wasn't much that they could do.
Get down.
Wait for someone to pull the plug out when you're not watching.
That's
Well,
funny.
I made sure that like, because honestly, I had so much paranoia that I just thought the plug might come loose or something. So what I did was put a bowl over it, or fill the bowl up with gravel, put the bowl over it, and then pile up a whole bunch of rocks around it. So it's like an impenetrable fortress around the plug.
I was thinking about that. Did you give it a good rinse out, like to make sure there was no soap and residue?
Well, we've only used the bathtub like twice or maybe 3 times out of like the 10 years that we've lived in this house. And I honestly can't remember the last time that someone had a bath in there. But I still did make sure like give it a good scrub down. So yeah, no one's had like a bath and soap's been in there for like the past 5 or 6 years. So I think it was,
fish boy, how you going, mate?
I think it was when I was like a kid that like I used the bathtub, but yeah, not anymore.
Oh, nice. Oh, Jesse, that platinum Senegal was an awesome fish. Interesting that it went to you.
Oh, nice.
I bet that was cheap.
Hmm?
I bet that was cheap.
It was on Arapaima Exotics. I don't know if you saw it or not.
Oh, yeah.
Presume that's the one.
There was a platinum Senegal that was like extreme. It was probably like this big that I saw maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was going to get it, but it was like $2,000, and I was like, maybe not. So then I said, yeah, and it was probably, oh no, actually it was about 2 years ago. No, yeah, so it was like $2,000, and I was like, nah, I'm all good. And then I ended up spending $1,000 on roseline sharks, so that was, yeah, yeah. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
How long were you thinking of going for today, Rumble?
I was pretty much just thinking the hour.
Yeah, I don't want to be rude or anything, but I got a lot of jobs I got to do.
Yeah. I've got editing work. Yay.
I got to do the lawns.
Gotta go
Acclimate.
home.
Top up the water level on that tank.
Nah, I'm just gonna leave it hardscape only.
Well, the good thing about having an inbuilt sump is you'll have to have the water level at a respectable height.
I think that was probably the main incentive behind the inbuilt something. This way I have to keep the water level high. But yeah, so it's been good. Awesome. We hit the 1 hour mark. All right.
We might wrap it up there, guys.
Yay.
No, it's been fun hanging out. Good to
Thanks for
see everyone
joining
here.
us. And thanks for everyone in the chat. The chat was pretty busy today.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, enjoyable way to kick off a Sunday. Looking sharp with your new camera there, mate, and
Hey.
see you on the next one, I guess.
Ryan's got a pretty good point. You should put hermit crabs in there instead of fish. Job done.
Maybe later.
All right.
Awesome. Goodbye.
See you later.